This is another tutorial brought to you from learnfreephotography.net. Hello and welcome to another tutorial brought to you from learnfreephotography.net. In this tutorial, it'll only be a quick one, just showing you the bits and pieces of Photoshop, the tools, and what we'll be using. Now, the first thing we want to do is open an image by going to File, Open, and browse through your files and folders until you find the right image. I'll just use this one as an example. Now what we have, we've just opened the image. Now I'll just show you this left hand toolbar. If you cannot see this toolbar, if you go up to Window up the top and go down to Tools here, I'll just turn it off to show you. So it's gone. No tick beside it means it's turned off. We'll just click it again. There it is. That's all you have to do. Now the first thing you'll notice at the top is the picker or pointer tool, move tool rather. That's just handy for, I don't know, moving objects around, moving different layers around. Circular marquee tool, won't be using that too much. How about us go through the bits and pieces that we will be using. We will be using the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. We'll be using the crop tool, the eyedropper definitely. All these healing brushes we'll be using. Paintbrush, yes, the rest not so much. Clone stamp tool, yes. It's eraser tool, definitely. Paint bucket tool, not so much, a little bit. Blur tool, yes, we will be using. Sharpen tool and smudge tool, yes, yes, yes. Dodge tool, burn tool and sponge tool we'll be using. We won't be using the pen tool. We will be using the text tool and the hand tool, the zoom tool and the colors. Now with the colors, it's quite simple. You see I've got blue and red. I can switch those around with these little arrows here, or I can make them go back to default black and white by clicking this. There. That's it for the sidebar. Let's go up to the top. File, pretty self-explanatory. New, open, browse and bridge. If you have Adobe Bridge, that's a good program to get into the hang of using. It's just sort of a graphic user interface for going through your photos, rating them, and all that sort of stuff. We'll cover that in a separate tutorial. Open, top here. Close, revert, that's if you want to get your image back to stock standard. Save, obviously, or save as. Automate, there's some things hidden in automate that you might not know about, which is batch, that's for doing batch and the big jobs. Lens correction, merge to HDR Pro and photo merge, and print. That's sort of it for the files panel, but in the edit we'll be using a fair bit of this. Undo, step forward, step back, fade. I'll give you an example of fade. So if we just do anything, say image adjustment, hue and saturation, let's drag it down to, actually let's make it look old, let's give it a sepia toning. Now say we want to fade that away. We can go to Edit, Fade Hue and Saturation, and we'll just drag down until you get, I don't know, whatever effect you're looking for. There you go, you can see a bit of colours come through. I like that actually, it looks quite good. Cut, copy, paste, they're always good. Fill, create a new layer. Go to Edit, Fill, choose a colour, you can use any of these, say, I don't know, blue. Okay, you can change the opacity, change the blending mode. There we go, that's done. Let's get rid of that. Puppet Warp tool, you can use that, I don't use it. yeah, the rest. Preferences, if you want to change your color profiles. Oh, sorry, that's up in color settings. If you want to change anything universal, like your shortcuts, anything like that, it's all in the edit keyboard shortcuts menus and preferences. Okay, image. Now we can change the sort of characteristics of the image in here. If we go to mode, you can change the grayscale like that. Any adjustments you can do in here, brightness and contrast levels. All this stuff in here we'll be covering in later tutorials, don't worry, you're not missing out on much. If you just follow the tutorials, you'll get the hang of it. Auto tone, contrast and colour, don't use those. They do an alright job, but really we can do better. Change image size, canvas size, image rotation. Self-explanatory. Yeah, and the rest. Duplicate layer, or duplicate the image. All that stuff. Layers. Now, you won't really understand what layers are yet, but if you do, good on you. If you don't, it's very hard to get the hang of it at first, but eventually you know how to use them quite well. So if I want to go to, okay, so we start back with the color image again. I'll give you an example of the layer. We'll just create a duplicate layer, and we'll make this, we'll just drop the saturation on to make it black and white. Okay, then we go to layer, layer mask, reveal all. It hasn't changed, but we have a layer mask now, which is white. So if we change our paintbrush to black, and we start to paint over the top of that, it'll reveal some of the colour. Anything we paint over, it'll reveal the colour. That's a layer. That's a mask. That's a layer. That's a layer mask. Creating a layer will just create a sort of a blank sheet over the top of your image, a see-through sheet that you can draw on, paint on, whatever you want. But that was an example of a layer mask. Sorry. Very handy. We'll be using these quite a bit. Beautiful for photography when we want to paint the flowers on a bride's bouquet. That's when that comes in handy. And vice versa, if we want to get rid of the colour, we can invert the layer mask by pressing Ctrl-I. So everything's black and white again. And we use the black paint now. We can so paint in our colour. But we got blue sky up here, so what do? We change it back to white because the layer mask is white. And we just paint over that, and that gets rid of the colour. Obviously make the paintbrush smaller to get in the grooves, and that's how it's done. Very weak example, but that's it. Okay, moving along, select. Now if we were to, so I'll just get rid of this layer mask. Select is a very helpful feature of Photoshop. We can select all, select the entire image, deselect or inverse. Deselect means obviously it gets rid of it. Inverse is when we make a selection. So we select this. Now that's got everything inside that's selected, so if we move that, it just moves that piece. Now if we inverse this, it's got everything but inside that, so if we move everything, it only leaves that. Okay, so obviously, yeah, deselect again. Now we can select a colour range. Now, at the moment, it's got nothing selected, but if we click on, say, orange, we want this bright yellow orange stuff to come through, and we hold down Control, sorry, if we hold down Shift, not Control, Shift, and we just click around everything orange or yellow or that beautiful colour. You can see it start to come through on the preview here. There we are. Now if we OK, it selected that all for us. Now if we hit Control J, that'll transport all that to a new layer for us, so that's all we have. Now I didn't really fine tune this, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. So if we go to Image Adjustments on that bottom layer and just make it black and white, you can see what it's done. Only bits of that yellow, some of the blue came out. We know how to get rid of that, don't we? We go to Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All, change it to black, just paint over top of that. Bits of green came out, this bit of red came out. Yeah, so that's an example of that. Filters, all these filters we'll go through at a later date, but that's where your filters hide. Blur, we'll be using the blur heaps. Won't need that, won't need that. Okay, see this one here. This shows us our printable colours. So if we have colours in the image that won't print, so undo, I'll just revert back to normal. View, gamut warning. See these colours in here? They're obviously too dark or it's a weird colour. It's not an actual colour, it won't print. It'll go the next. It won't be that exact colour, it won't print grey, but it'll go the next available colour, closest to it. Zoom in, zoom out, fit to screen, actual pixel size, and print size. All that stuff. Window, that's how we just bring up our custom toolbars. And help, if you ever want to go into help, find out your own tutorials, that's where you find it. Okay, just quickly, down on the bottom here we have it's another sub menu, it's a menu that we use. We can create layers, we can send layers to the trash, just like that. We can create adjustment layers, create folders, layer masks, effects, and yeah, all that stuff. Well, thanks for watching this tutorial. We'll go into these in more depth, each one individually, in other tutorials to come. Thank you for watching. Please visit our website, www.learnfreephotography.net. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye.